You are here because your heart is broken. And tonight, that is the hardest thing in the world. Because love, when it ends, does not leave quietly. It leaves in the small things, the half-turned habits, the reaching for someone who is no longer there, and you are feeling all of that tonight. The particular weight of a life that has been suddenly rearranged around an absence, the way the ordinary things, the side of the bed, the coffee cup, the silence where a voice used to be, all carry a significance they never had before. And you move through them carefully, the way you move through a room where the furniture has been shifted in the dark, knowing something is different, but still finding the edges of it with your body before your mind has quite accepted the new shape of things. And the not there-ness of them fills the room more completely than their presence ever did, which is perhaps the strangest and most honest thing about grief. That absence can be louder than presence ever was. What makes this kind of grief so hard to carry is that the world does not always know how to hold it the way it holds other losses. There is no ceremony for it, no collective acknowledgement that something real has ended, and that you are allowed to mourn it fully and without apology. And so you take it with you through the ordinary hours, through the work and the errands and the conversations that require you to be fine. And by the time the night comes and the ordinary hours are done, and there is no more performance of fineness required, the weight of all that carrying is in your whole body, in the shoulders and the chest and the back of the throat. And the bed is quiet in the wrong way, and the dark is long, and the person who used to be part of how you made sense of the day is simply not there. What you are in right now is a kind of winter, and winter is not a punishment or a failure. It is a season with its own purpose and its own austere beauty. And the fact that you are in it does not mean you will always be in it. It means you are in it now, tonight. And that is all it means. And winter does not hurry, and it cannot be hurried. It asks only that you move through it at its own unhurried pace, which is slower than you would choose and more bare than you would like. And yet there are things that only winter shows you. The shape of trees without their leaves, the stars without the interference of a full canopy overhead, the particular stillness of a world that has gone quiet and is gathering itself beneath the frozen ground for something that is not yet visible but is already quietly and irrevocably underway. And something is underway in you too, though you cannot feel it yet, and you do not need to feel it yet. You only need to be where you are tonight, which is here and right now. That is enough. The mind in grief is a restless and exhausting place to live, and what it needs more than anything on a night like this is not more thinking, but somewhere else to be for a while, somewhere that simply receives it as it is and holds it without requiring it to process or resolve or move on before it is ready. And that is exactly what this journey is for. To lead you gently away from the noise of your own mind and into a place that is calm and unhurried and warm enough to rest in, even in the middle of winter, and where the grief you are carrying is not too heavy for the landscape, because the landscape has held heavier things and remained standing. And as you move through it, you will find, not all at once, but gradually, the way warmth returns to cold hands that something in you begins to soften and settle and breathe more easily. And the weight does not disappear, but it becomes more bearable, the way all things become more bearable when they are carried in the open air rather than alone at night. And by the time we arrive at the end of the journey, you will feel quieter in yourself, steadier in your body, and gently, honestly, more at peace than you were when you began. And that is what this journey offers you tonight. Only the deep and genuine comfort of moving through a world that has survived every winter it has ever been given and always found its way to spring. And walking beside it tonight, gently and in your own time, so will you. The night brings you to the edge of a river, and the river is quiet and dark and moving slowly beneath a wide winter sky. And there at the bank, as though it has been waiting here for exactly this moment, is a small wooden boat, low in the water and solid and unexpectedly warm. And as you step into it, you find it lined with thick wool blankets, deep and soft and already holding a warmth that wraps around you the moment you sink into them, pulling them up around your shoulders and your chest. And the boat rocks once, very gently, as though settling beneath you with a kind of welcome. And then the river takes it, and quietly, without effort, you begin to move. The current is slow and knows where it is going, and the bare winter trees on either bank lean over the water with their long arms, their branches lacing together above you, and through the gaps in them, the sky is the deepest blue of a clear winter night, scattered with stars that are closer and brighter out here than they ever seem in the lit-up world. And the whole of it, the trees and the sky and the slow, dark water and the soft sound of a river, is gathered around you with a gentleness that feels like care. And the cold is there, but it cannot reach you inside the warmth of the blankets, and the grief is there too, but it is sitting more quietly now, held by the river the way the river holds everything that is placed upon it, steadily and without complaint. And you feel, against the weight of the evening, something that you had almost forgotten was still available to you. The simple feeling of being looked after. A heron stands at the river's edge as you pass, perfectly still, its gray form reflected in the dark water below it, and it watches the boat go by with the calm and unhurried attention of something ancient and steady. And there is a companionship in its stillness that stays with you long after the boat has carried you past it. The warmth of having been noticed by something that has been standing at the edges of rivers since long before tonight. And the trees continue their quiet accompaniment on either side, their roots running down into the bank as though holding the river in place for you, keeping it steady and true. And the stars move slowly overhead through the gaps in the branches, keeping their own patient watch, and everything around you is awake and attending and entirely unhurried. And the loneliness that came with you to the river's edge is still there somewhere, but it has loosened its grip, the way cold loosens its grip when warmth is given, long enough and gently enough to do its work. The river bends, and the trees give way on the left to open ground, a wide frost-covered field stretching away into the pale dark, and the sky above it opens into something vast and still, and You lie back a little further into the blankets and look up at it. That enormous, patient sky. And the stars above you are the same stars that have looked down on everyone who has ever lain awake with a broken heart. And they're looking down on you now with the same steady light they have always given, unchanged and unhurried and genuinely present. And the field is silver with frost, and the air smells of cold earth, and the river moves on beneath you, and the blankets are warm around your shoulders, and the world is very large and very quiet, and you are held inside all of it, belonging to it as much as the heron belongs, and the frost belongs, and the stars belong. A living thing moving through a living world on a winter night, and the feeling of that belonging is real, and it is warm, and it is yours. The river narrows again, and the trees return on both sides, closer now, their roots running into the water, and the sound of the river changes as it moves between them, softer and more intimate, more like a conversation than a current. And you notice that somewhere along the way the thoughts have grown quieter. The replaying and the remembering and the reaching have slowed to something more like rest, and your hands have uncurled in your lap, and the blankets are soft against your face, and the breath comes and goes more easily than it did an hour ago. And the river carries you gently through the dark with all the patience of something that has been doing this for a very long time and finds no difficulty in it. And the trees lean in a little on either side, and the stars move through the branches overhead, and the cold air moves across the water, and the world continues its quiet and faithful work of simply being here with you, asking nothing, offering everything. The first suggestion of what is ahead reaches you before you can see it. A softening in the air, something barely warmer than the rest of the night, and the faint, sweet smell of something green and new carried on the current from somewhere just around the next bend, and the boat moves toward it with a quiet certainty, and the trees lean in a little closer on either side as though they too want to be near what is coming. And the current slows very gently, and then the river widens, and the boat drifts to a small stone jetty as softly as a leaf, settling on water, and you are here, and the night is very quiet around you, and on the bank above the jetty, growing up through the frost with the calm and unhurried certainty of something that has always known it would be here. The first snowdrops are open, white and small and perfect, and at the top of the stone path that leads up from the jetty, perhaps 30 steps ahead, there's a light, a warm amber light in a low window, and the smell of wood smoke drifts down toward you on the cold air, and you step out of the boat onto the jetty and begin to walk toward it. The stone is solid under your feet after the movement of the water, cold and mossy and real. The night air meets you with its clean, sharp breath. The path up from the jetty is narrow, bordered on both sides by those same snowdrops, growing in the dark, small and white and quietly luminous, and you walk between them slowly, the blanket still around your shoulders. The smell of wood smoke reaches you before you have taken 10 steps, drifting down from the boathouse. On the cold air, the smell of something tended, something that has been kept burning through the night, in preparation for exactly this arrival. You follow it up the path toward the warm light in the window, the river sounding behind you, faithful and unhurried, stars still out overhead. The door of the boathouse is slightly ajar, a thin line of golden warmth visible at its edge. You push it open and step inside. The warmth meets you like something alive, immediate and generous. The boathouse is small and low-ceilinged and entirely itself. Walls of old dark wood, a floor of worn stone, a fire burning in a small iron grate in the far corner, with the particular orange and gold of a fire that has been going for hours, settled now into its own deep and steady rhythm. Beside the fire, a wide low seat is piled with blankets and cushions in the colors of autumn and winter, deep amber and soft gray and the warm brown of old oak. The light in the room comes entirely from the fire and a single lantern on the windowsill, and it is the kindest light, the kind that makes everything it touches look like something worth keeping. You close the door gently behind you, the cold staying outside where it belongs, and move toward the fire and lower yourself into the seat. The blankets receive you the way the boat received you at the river's edge, completely and without condition. The fire makes its small domestic sounds, the settling of wood, the occasional soft collapse of an ember, the low, continuous breath of it. Through the window beside the lantern, the river is just visible in the dark, moving on its quiet way between its banks, and beyond it, the pale frost-covered ground stretches away into the night. The room smells of wood smoke and old wood, and something faintly green and living carried in on the night air through the gap beneath the door. Everything in it is warm and worn and entirely without pretension. A room that has held people through difficult nights before and knows how to do it. And you feel that knowledge in the walls, in the worn stone floor, in the steady fire and the soft weight of the blankets settling around you. The grief is still with you, as it will be for some time yet. But it is different here, held differently. You are not required to do anything with it tonight, not to understand it, or resolve it, or find the lesson in it, or decide what comes next. You are only required to sit with it in the warmth of this fire, in this small, faithful room, while the river runs outside, and the night moves at its own unhurried pace toward the morning. There is a candle on the small table beside you, a single flame burning with the calm and steady certainty of something that knows exactly what it is for, and you watch it for a while, the way the flame moves in its own slow-breathing rhythm, barely perceptible, a gentle lean and return, and there is something in the watching of it that quietens the mind in a way that nothing else quite does. The eye drawn into the light and held there, softly and without demand. After a while, you become aware that the flame is not only giving light, but taking something too, drawing into itself the air around it, consuming what is given to it and returning it as warmth and brightness. The thought comes quietly that you might offer it something of your own, not in any formal way, not with words or ceremony, only the way you might open a hand and let something go. So you sit with the grief for a moment, with the particular weight of it, with the name of it, with the face of it, and then gently as you would release a breath, you offer it to the flame. The flame receives it the way it receives everything, without judgment, without hesitation, taking what is heavy and returning it as light. You watch the candle burn and feel, somewhere in the chest, the faintest but most genuine warmth. The warmth of something released, of something that was held too tightly for too long, finally allowed to go. The flame burns on, steady and unhurried. You are still here. You are lighter than you were. You rest your head back into the cushions. The only sounds are the fire and the river and the soft settling of the night around the room. And the weight in your chest is resting now, the way you are resting. The stars are above the river, the fire warm, the blankets soft, the candle burning its quiet, faithful flame. The night is passing, gently and without hurry, toward something you cannot see yet, but can almost, if you are very still and very quiet, begin to feel at the very edges of things. A barely perceptible change in the quality of the dark, the first almost invisible loosening of the night's grip on the sky. Somewhere very far away, so faint you are not entirely sure you have heard it at all. The first bird of the morning. There is nowhere to be, nothing to do. Nothing the night asks of you now but this, to let yourself be here, fully and without reservation, held in the warmth of the blankets, the fire breathing its soft light across the room, the river running its faithful course just beyond the window. You have been carrying something very heavy for a very long time, and tonight, you've been allowed to put it down, and the feeling of that, the simple and profound relief of it, is what you are resting in now. And it is enough. It is more than enough. It is everything that this particular night was able to give you. The thoughts, when they come now, are slower and softer than they were, arriving without urgency, without the sharp edges they carried in the dark hours before the river. The face of the person you have lost is still there when it comes, but something has changed in how it feels to hold it. Gentler, less raw. The way a bruise softens over time, from something you cannot touch to something that simply reminds you it is there. The love that is still in you for them is because love does not end when a relationship ends. It only changes shape, sits quietly alongside everything else tonight. No longer a wound, but simply a truth. One of the many true things that make you who you are. You do not need to do anything with it. You only need to let it be, and let yourself be, and feel, perhaps for the first time tonight, that you are someone worth being. Your breathing has found its own slow rhythm now, deeper and easier than it has been all evening. The breath of a body that has stopped bracing itself and remembered how to simply be at rest. And the tension that has been living in your shoulders and your chest and the back of your throat has eased, not all at once, but gradually, the way frost eases when the warmth has been present long enough and patiently enough to reach it, and what remains in the place where the tightness was is something quieter and more spacious. A softness you had forgotten was available to you, and you rest inside it, and the fire burns low, and the candle holds its flame, and the river runs on outside, and you are here, and you are held, and you are, against all the odds of the evening that brought you here, genuinely at rest. The night has its own kind of generosity, and you are feeling it now. The way it asks nothing, takes nothing, only offers the long and unhurried hours of its dark as a place to simply exist without performance or explanation. when you have been in that dark tonight and found it, against all expectation, kind. The fire beside you has been burning since before you arrived, tended by something patient and unnamed, and the river has been running since long before your grief existed, and will be running long after it has softened into something you can live alongside without effort. And the first flowers of spring have been pushing through the frozen ground all winter without anyone asking them to, simply because that is what they are made to do. And that same quiet persistence is in you, too, beneath the tiredness and the grief, as sure and as patient as anything that grows in the dark, and the night knows it, and the fire knows it, and the river knows it, and now, in the warmth and the quiet of this small, faithful room, you are beginning, very gently, to know it too. The grief is still yours. It will be yours for some time yet. But somewhere between the river and the fire and the long quiet of this room, it has moved from the front of you to somewhere deeper, somewhere it can be carried without it being the only thing you are. And that movement, small as it is everything. The first and most important sign that you are already, without knowing it, beginning to find your way through. Your eyes are heavy now, heavy in the way that belongs to real rest, rather than the exhausted wakefulness of the earlier hours, and your body has grown still and soft and warm, and the thoughts that come are loose and slow and barely formed, drifting through without catching, without demand in anything, and the sound of the fire and the sound of the river are folding together into something that feels less like sound and more like warmth made audible, and you are moving gently and without effort toward the place where the night ends and the rest begins. The fire is low embers now, deep amber and quietly glowing, and the candle burns its last small inch of flame, and somewhere in you that is also true. Something has burned down to its quietest and most essential state, stripped of everything unnecessary, leaving only what is real and what endures. You are still here. You are softer than you were. The dark outside is not quite as dark as it was. Something is gathering at the edges of it. Not yet light, but the first faint memory of it. And the river is catching it on its surface, and the bird that called earlier calls again. And another answers, and the morning, quiet and unhurried and entirely new, is coming. And so, in your own time and in your own way, are you. You rise from the seat gently, the blanket still around your shoulders, and move to the door of the boathouse. You open it softly and step outside. The air that meets you is cold, but it is a different cold from the cold of last night. Something in it has shifted, something almost imperceptible but entirely real, a softness at the edges, a faint, barely there warmth coming from the direction of the horizon. You stand on the stone path and look out across the river, and the sky above it is no longer the deep indigo of the night. Something paler and more tender has begun along the line where the earth meets the sky, a thin wash of the softest rose gold spreading slowly, unhurriedly, as though the morning knows it has nowhere to be but here. You stand in it for a long moment, the fresh air moving gently across your face, cool and clean and quietly reviving, and you take a slow breath of it and feel it reach somewhere inside you that the warmth of the boathouse could not quite get to. And then you take in the rest of it, the rose gold light on the water, the bare trees on the far bank, holding their dark branches against the brightening sky, the whole world very still and very quiet, paying attention the way the world pays attention at sunrise. The snowdrops along the path are luminous in the first light, more white than they seemed in the dark, and the frost is softening at the edges, just barely. And there is a smell in the air that was not there last night, green and faint and tentative, the earth remembering what it knows how to do. A pair of birds are calling to each other across the river, back and forth. An ordinary conversation in the first light of an ordinary morning that feels, standing here with the blanket around your shoulders and the fire still warm at your back, like anything but ordinary. The grief is still yours, and the loss is still real. None of that has changed overnight, and you would not want to pretend otherwise. But you have changed, quietly and without fanfare. The way the season is changing, the way the frost is softening, the way the light is coming over the edge of the world, with the calm certainty of something that has never once failed to arrive. You are here to meet it, rested, held, lighter than you were when the night began. The river carries the morning downstream, and somewhere in the bare branches above the water, the birds are singing the world awake. The spring, subtle and unhurried and absolutely sure of itself, has already begun. So have you. Sleep well. The fire held you through the night. The river carried what needed to be released, and the morning has come, as it always comes, new and unhurried, full of the quiet possibility of what begins next. The dusk will find you again when you need it. The boat waiting at the water's edge. The fire already lit. The spring already on its way. Rest now. You have done enough for tonight.